right? So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. Let's see what Rich Eisen had to say to Packer fans. And this is from the Rich Eisen show, and it's over on X, obviously, is where the video came from. Let's throw a little run. Actually, let's just throw a little Stephen A. Smith up here. I like the old comment there. So here we go. Here was Rich Eisen on the Rich Eisen show, about 56 seconds long, him talking to Packer fans, essentially.
No bueno. But they're 5-3-1. Everybody just chill out. 5-3-1.
That's not the world in which we live.
But guess what? We're still marathoning. We're marathoning. Okay? And I've seen what this team can do when they're 5-1-1 as well. And the good news is the defense is balling out. And all Jordan Love's got to do is just see the field a little bit better, because some of this is on him. Remember that point where Christian Watson was open over the middle and they cut to LaFleur watching it back on the tablet, and he's just like, oh, this is after, Aikman's like he was open. And I know that for a fact, because Cooper really needed Christian Watson to catch passes to get off the guillotine last night. But the fact that supposedly LaFleur's in the guillotine, I think is nuts. It's crazy.
One playoff win in the last 4 seasons.
I understand that, man. But
then what are we doing?
Because you could see the same thing about most everybody in the National Football League as well. And this team can score points, and I think will again. No bueno.
Amen. So I obviously agree with what Rich Eisen had to say there, Emilio. And if the argument is, okay, well, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, who are you bringing in that has won a Super Bowl? Right? That's immediately where my focus goes to. And as we were kind of talking about this in the chat was on fire earlier today when I did that show on Matt LaFleur, right? And as we were having this conversation, people were saying, people who want to fire him, they don't have an answer on who to bring in. I've heard answers on who to bring in. This seems to be the consensus. You promote Jeff Hafley to head coach, and you bring in a new offensive coordinator. Okay, so what offensive coordinator are you bringing in? And not in our chat, but typically what's been happening is people have been rattling off offensive coordinators for other teams. It's not how it works. You can't bring them in and hire them in a lateral move, right? So you got to go into their offense and get an assistant, quarterbacks coach, passing game coordinator, something like that, right? Because again, they can block lateral moves, meaning you can't go and sign their offensive coordinator unless they approve it, right? To be your offensive coordinator. So now what you're looking at is, if you do approach it that way and Jeff Hafley's promoted to head coach, and then you go and get an offensive coordinator who has the people that are in those positions have failed at offensive coordinator before, or they have never been given the opportunity to be an offensive coordinator. Obviously, everybody had to come up through the coaching ranks. So at some point, the great offensive coordinators, the great head coaches were in the same position. It's a matter of finding the right one. But this idea that you could go get one, and now all of a sudden he's going to be better than Matt LaFleur, that's just a tough sell for me right now. Here's the other thing too. Let's say Matt LaFleur finishes the season out. Jeff Hafley gets offered another head coaching job somewhere else. You fire Matt LaFleur, and now Jeff Hafley gets to choose, say, between the Giants and the Packers. He takes that. Now your whole coaching staff is scrapped, and you're starting from square one. I think these are the things that some fans maybe don't think about. So I want to get your take on that. How do you feel about that whole situation there?
Yeah, no, I think that's a perfect point. What happens if Hafley does go to New York? What happens if anybody else calls about Matt? Why are we not giving Matt a chance to finish out the season? We're winning. McDonald's still there in Miami, and I was the one that said, if he probably goes 2-10, or if he gets up to 10 losses, I would think that he probably gets moved or something. But I think that you need to have at least a little bit of faith in Matt for what he's done. Thinking about it like this, if you're in the NFC, right, you only have one chance in your division, or in the first playoff game. You got one chance in the second, and then if you get to playoffs, like, there's only a possibility of like 6 wins in total. And Matt's 1 in 4 years. Okay, fine, but like he said, the entire league has that same exact thing. I wouldn't want to move on from Matt. I still don't want to move on from him. I think you need to let him. How well does he coach in December and January is a key thing that you need to pay attention to. And you can't be judging him on how he's coached in December and January in November when it hasn't happened right now. So I think that you just need to leave it be, let the dude do his thing. And what else can he do? It's not like he can sit there and dwell on it like, oh, I'm about to get shipped out of here. No, it's like, I got to worry about the Giants. I got to scheme up something to take on this defense. They got 4 real good pass rushers up front, all first-round picks. We got to be ready for that. There's so many on Matt's plate. He is trying to fry a bigger fish on this right side rather than worried about all of the stuff on the left side. That's winter work for Matt. We need to worry about that later on in the season.
Yeah. M. Smitty in the chat. Let's go to the chat, see what everybody's saying about this. Matt LaFleur has his faults and has not gotten to the big dance. However, he is well respected for his play calling. A little bad stretch is not worth dropping. As BA, we played a Bruce Arians audio earlier today on the show, and that's what he was saying. Is like, Matt LaFleur is one of the great play callers in the league. Boy, don't tell Packer fans that right now, because they have convinced themselves, a portion of them have convinced themselves he's absolutely horrible, right? Drew D in the chat says, for most of the years, the defense was the problem. It's so true, right? Then you finally get the defense fixed, and now the offense is struggling. But again, I point out the offense struggling because, I mean, you're without your best receiver, your number one receiver in Jaden Reed, right? You just got Christian Watson back, which I know people look at Christian Watson as the number one receiver. If there's a number one receiver on this team, it's Jaden Reed, right? He's the guy who's been the leading receiver the last 2 years when he's healthy. Then you got your new leading target in Tucker Kraft. He goes down with the ACL. You lose your starting center, and you were without your first-round pick, Matthew Golden, who, let's be honest, guys, that was the game for him to shine on Monday night. It's really, really unfortunate that he wasn't in the lineup, right? So I take all that into consideration when we're trying to judge a coach, right? So you've got 1 year where you've dropped out of the top 10 offensively, right? And that's just scoring. What's crazy is he's still top 10 in most of the important statistical categories. It's just points per play that dropped out of the top 10 because you only put up 3 points against the Eagles, obviously.
Right.
But I think Drew D makes a great point. For so long, that's what it was, right? It was the defense that was the problem. 2-0 for this says, I agree with an Eisen take. Someone check the temperature of hell. So obviously the temperature dropping down there. I'm not a huge Rich Eisen fan either, but I thought that was cool coming across the wire there. Paging Dr. Crutch says, outside the organization, the hiring pool is rough in all caps. I'm frustrated, but definitely not in fire Matt LaFleur mode. I'm frustrated too, man. I am, But what's crazy is when we watch the tape, I don't come away going, this damn Matt LaFleur. I come away going, boys. You had an open receiver. Catch the football. Do we not know how to line up? What is going on right now? How do you not know how to line up? How do you make sure a player's, not covered up? Just little things like that kind of get me frustrated. So again,
yeah, I mean, 13-3, 13-3, 13-4, 8-9, 9-8, 11-6.
Right.
Were we calling for
the transition, right?
Were we calling for his job in 22 when he had a losing record? No, but we're calling for it now when we have a winning record. He's got to go, man. We're winning too many games. Get him out of here, Clay.
And you know why they weren't calling for him in 2022? Because they were calling for Aaron Rodgers. People were so tired of Aaron Rodgers. Get him out of here, right? That was the big kind of skate. I love the people that refuse to mention the fact that Aaron Rodgers had a broken thumb on his throwing hand that year. And you've seen his numbers dip significantly, right? And then you make that transition to Jordan Love. I thought Matt LaFleur handled that so well, right? I mean, hell, they missed the playoffs, Aaron's last year. And then he went to the playoffs both years with Jordan Love at the helm. Yep. And we're tracking the playoffs right now. If everything finishes the way I think it will, I think we're going to be somewhere around 11 wins, which is funny. That's where we started at in the offseason when we predicted it. It was 11 to 13 wins. You could go on a run. If you win out, you get 13 wins. I've got them, okay, if they lose 2 games in this stretch, you still win 11, you're in the playoffs. It'll be really, really, really strange if 11 wins doesn't get you in the playoffs. And you know what? If it don't, so be it. You did the best you could in that scenario. And you move on to next year, right?
I think it will, though, with that tie, Clay. Everyone was mad about the tie during the time. You get 11 wins and have a tie. We're cooking with Crisco over here. I mean,
going to come back to help you, right? For sure. J. Cole said, I heard people saying Mike McDaniels. Man, how things have changed so fast. He was the butt of the league a couple weeks ago, and now
I want to pat you on the butt and you poop my hands. So
nice drop there, man. Tim will be proud. Corey Murphy says, I'm team keep LaFleur. What about making Hafley assistant head coach? There's no positive in that, Corey. If you make him assistant head coach, then he can still be hired as a head coach.
Right.
It's not going to block that. And you don't have to worry about laterally. So it's going to take someone. I never got an answer on whether or not that's a improvement or not. Like if someone wanted to hire Hafley as DC just to make him assistant head coach, I think that's still considered a lateral move is what I came up with. But I would like an exact answer on that if we could find it. But yeah, so if somebody offers him a head coaching job, now he can choose to decline that head coaching job, right?
Which I would love.
And Johnson did for a couple of years.
Right? I would absolutely love that. Because maybe he wants to hone it down. Maybe he wants to sit there and sharpen the blade a little bit, make sure that he knows everything because he said it in his presser this week. He knows what it's like to be on both sides of it, being a head coach, being just a coordinator, and knowing where the players are coming from in both aspects. You need to hold the team together as a DC, as an OC, as the head coach.
Yeah, definitely. Then you got J. Cole says, I don't want McDaniels in Green Bay. I think the majority of the people would be looking at it that way as well. Brooke in the house. Good to see you, Brooke. I don't think this season is like last season where there were so many winning teams. People were livid that a losing record division winner made it to the playoffs. I think our odds are good. I agree with that too. When you kind of lay out the rest of the schedule, you lay out the rest of the league schedule because you can look at it worst case scenario and kind of worst case scenario for the rest of the league and you still win 11 games, you're in. Well, we're not even kind of looking at it like if these – because there's going to be teams that lose games they should win. Like the Lions injury report just came out. They're without Sam Laporta, a couple other players. They got to play the Eagles on Monday night. Now, the Lions are playing damn good football right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go into Philly and win that game. However, if Philly pulls that one off, Minnesota beats Chicago, we beat New York, we're back in first place. Right. So it just changes that quick.
And Dan Campbell just took over play calls for the Lion too. He just took over play calling duties.
Did a great job. What's crazy about that, Emilio? I seen that and I'm like, man, I haven't been keeping up with the Lions offense. How bad did they get? You know where they're ranked in points per play?
2.
Take a guess. What'd you say?
2.
They're third. So they're third in points per play and they pulled the play calling.
Yeah.
One thing you got to say about Dan Campbell, he demands excellence.
Yeah.
That was wild to me. I was expecting it to be like 10th or 12th or something in that range.
DJ and Buck were talking about it, or Buck and Rhett were talking about it, saying like, what he wanted to do was like show the team or show their offensive coordinator, the dude that took over this year, what he wants his team to be or what his vision of this team to be is. And the only difference between that and Matt doing it is just they were executing it better than we did this past week. We beat ourselves. We could have won that game. We beat ourselves in our other 2 losses as well. So that's what we've 3 losses by 9 points where we beat ourselves each time. Yeah, that's our season. That's why you're mad at LaFleur. You could fit it into one sentence.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what Creed's saying here too. What's crazy is we've lost games by field goals. I'd understand if LaFleur lost the locker room and we're losing games by 20 points each week, but field goals, these people are detached. I agree, and I think that stuff matters. And listen, Matt LaFleur will get to the podium and say there's no moral victories. And that's what you want your leader to say, right? But in the background, it's like, guys, we're in every one of these ball games, and you're missing key pieces. As someone said here, if I can find it, here we go. 2-0 for this said, if any team lost their tight end 1, wide receiver 2 through 4, starting center with your wide receiver 1 coming off of injuries, they wouldn't look great. I don't care who your quarterback is. If you're throwing to a transition backup cornerback as your wide receiver 2, it's so true, man. So well put.
Yep.
United Bates with the facts for us. In the last 6 seasons since Matt LaFleur took the reins, only 6 head coaches have been to the Super Bowl. Reed, Sirianni, Shanahan, McVay, Taylor, and Arians. So there you go. Only 6. And by the way, one of those, and Bruce Arians, was the clip we played earlier where he was over the moon about Matt LaFleur. Hey, look, he got young guys dropping the ball. There's a lot of factors that come in. He's a great play caller, blah, blah, blah. So that's a really cool stat there. So, again, those are the 6 that if you hold everyone to the same standard, unless you can go sign Andy Reid, Sirianni, Shanahan, McVay, Taylor, or Arians, good luck. And here's the thing. Taylor's on the hot seat, right? Because that's Cincy's coach. Am I thinking right? He's the one who made it to the Super Bowl. What's his name? Zach Taylor, right?
Yep.
So he's on the hot seat somewhat right now, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's wild to think about.
And Reid has been there, 2 or 3 times. Sirianni's been there 2 or 3 times. And you have repeat literally 6 head coaches. That's 2 coaches on each side. Remember that. That's not just the NFC.
No, definitely. All right. So there you go, guys. I'd love to keep hitting the comments, but we got to move on to the next segment. If you guys would, if you're watching this back later, let us know in the comments what you think about the whole Matt LaFleur situation. What do you think about what Rich Eisen had to say about the Green Bay Packers? We want to hear from you all in the comments. Make sure you hit subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. Let's just take a quick second and talk about Jordan Love. Emilio, I seen this tweet come out earlier, and this was really interesting to me. I love looking at these stats because, we were very vocal. I shouldn't say we. Maybe you guys disagree. I was very vocal in our post-game show. I was very vocal in Chalk Talk that Jordan didn't have his best game. Matt LaFleur is getting raked over the coals, and when I turn on the tape, I'm seeing Jordan Love not seeing open receivers, maybe getting off a look a little too quick.
Yep.
Crucial fumble when he should have protected the football on second down there under 40 seconds left in the second quarter, i.e. the middle eight. Those are the type of things I see. So when you back up and go, okay, that was a bad game. Let's take a look at everything globally. How does he still rank? This came out from Ober Sports on X. Jordan Love is number 2 in EPA. He's number 2 in fourth quarter comebacks. Number 7 in CPOE, completion percentage over expected. Number 7 in QBR. Number 7 in yards attempt. Number 8 in passing yards. Number 8 in passer rating. Number 9 in completion percentage. He's got a 4.33 touchdown to interception ratio, okay? So it's basically 4.33 to 1 is his touchdown to interception ratio. And I'm supposed to think Jordan Love is not a top 10 quarterback because he had one underwhelming game.
Belt to ass. BTA.
And then, of course, he quote tweeted this composite quarterback rankings, right? And you guys could kind of see it looks like they do a grade out of 0 to 100 and kind of ranks everybody. You got total QBR, EPA per play, CPOE, all the stuff that here's a bad throw percentage, PRS to sack percentage, air yards to receivers, average score, blah, blah, blah. According to this graphic, Sam Darnold is 1, Dak Prescott 2, Matthew Stafford 3, and then you got Jordan Love in the number 4 spot, just ahead Drake May and former MVP Lamar Jackson, as well as Daniel Jones and Jared Goff, who are tied for 7th. So this graphic has Jordan Love as a legit top 5 quarterback. Shout out to Cody McDougal becoming a member here on YouTube. Appreciate you, Cody. I know you've been around for a long time. Just kind of do a little dono our way. We appreciate that. What do you think about that, man? Jordan Love, where would you rank him? I'm going to be honest. The way he's playing right now, I don't see him as a top 5 quarterback. When I see these numbers, though, it makes me feel really damn good when I do consider him a top 10 quarterback because I feel like I might be underselling him a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that he's a top 10. I think that we've been fighting for him to get that recognition for a while now. He finally has. CJ Stroud took it for a year, and then, he had the injuries and all that. But I think, the way he's been playing, hasn't been perfect, but he's still getting the ball out. He's spinning it around. You got a bunch of different targets you're getting it to. You've gone through injuries. The O-line's been shuffled around. But what's key is that he's been in the system for so long. He knows what Matt's offense is. If they need to add something, they need to adjust something. I feel like that can happen on the fly. No problem. We can get that done. I really still think it's because of all the different shifts in the different line combinations, all this. Our blockings might be a little bit messed up. Our snap count's off. Silent count we still need to work on. Not lining up. And Jordan's got to still worry about it. I mean, I've seen him 3 times this year just adjust wicks or adjust a receiver, get him over to the right side. He's got to worry about that, double check, make sure all this is all squared away in 25 seconds after calling out a play. There's a lot going on. I think that he's been able to process it and hammer it down no problem. It's just we need to get better at executing it so that he can become that top 5 guy, all the time.
Yeah. So again, when you look at this chart, the bad throw percentage is the only thing in the orange, right? And I agree with that. There's times he'll make a bad decision. It's like, oh boy, Jordan, what are we doing there, right? But like someone says in the chat here, Sixers says Favre 2.0, right? And then Joe Pack Joe goes on to say, I want a gunslinger. I don't care about picks if he gets us dubs from explosive plays. It is damn fun.
Well, isn't the bad throw Stafford? At 17, Jordan Love, the only thing is just the air yards.
Oh, right? Yeah, my bad. You're right. Yeah, so it was actually air yards per reception, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah, it looks like that's the only thing in the low. What's that? 20 spot. That's his lowest spot would be 20 air yards per reception.
Good catch, Amelia. I'm sorry. Yeah, that would. Yeah, so that's his bad throw percentage is 13.6, which is still looks like it's probably somewhere in the middle, right?
Because everything else, his total QBR 7th, his EPA 2nd, CPOE 7th, 8th, and then 20th. Yeah, I mean, dude's playing well and out of his mind. And what's he able to do this year that he wasn't last year? Move his legs.
Mm-hmm.
It's been key for him this year.
Yeah, no, you could tell a big difference now that he's fully healthy and being able to navigate the pocket for sure. So, let's see here. 2-0 for this says people on Twitter who watch tape must only ever watch the very few negative Jordan plays when looking at only the positive plays of other quarterbacks. There's a little bias there too. right, too, over this. Like, you could tell and I won't name names, but the national media that you could tell they like to hate on the Packers, they will pick and choose. However, it was crazy hearing Richard Sherman defend Matt LaFleur earlier today. That surprised the hell out of me because he's usually pretty down on the Packers, but he was just like essentially saying there's a ton of teams that would be lined up, to obviously to replace their head coach with Matt LaFleur. So, and again, that's the thing about Jordan Love is like, you can't think Jordan Love is a top 10 or maybe even a top 5 quarterback. I think he's top 5 when he's at his best. I think on average he's top 10. You can't think that and not give some credit to Matt LaFleur, who molded him into the quarterback he is. And I know there's a portion of the fan base that think, no, it was all Aaron Rodgers. It was definitely both. People forget Aaron Rodgers was struggling when Matt LaFleur was hired. Aaron wins back-to-back MVPs, right? So another
One
thing.
hand watches the other. They both watch the face, Clay. Classic.
A wise man wants to tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Grandpa.
There you go. Rest in peace, Grandpa.
Absolutely.
Still learning from the old man.
See?
Cody McDougal, buddy, you are way, way too generous. Thank you so much for that dono, man. That's awesome. He drops a 50 spot in here. Thank you, buddy.
Here's the guy.
I wish you had a super chat so I could read it for you, but we appreciate that, man.
Yeah, say something. I'll keep an eye on it, Cody.
Yeah, for sure. Do that, man. Thank you so much, Cody. Mike Hebring with the super chat. Caleb's higher than I'm comfortable with. Let's see where Caleb is right here. Caleb Williams, right? That's who he's talking about. 17th. The one thing I'll say about Caleb,
he's got a lot of red.
He does have a lot of red. What's the one green there? So that's what is that, evading sacks essentially?
Pressure to sack percentage. Yeah, I think dude has speed in the backfield. He is a backfield creator archetype, Clay.
Bro, I looked it up one day and I think he was leading all quarterbacks in ball carrier run, ball carrier speed, where he broke 20 miles per hour. He could scoot. And what that tells me is if he were to run the 40, obviously he didn't, definitely 4.4, maybe 4.3 speed, to be honest with you. I mean, that's 20 mile an hour. Yeah. But I understand what you're saying too, Mike. The thing about Caleb Williams that I've got to tip my cap is when the game's on the line in the fourth quarter, he can make stuff happen with his legs. Right now, will that win you a championship? Probably not. You got to be able to read a good defense is going to shut that down. Like the Giants, they struggle to contain it and this and that. But but I understand what you're saying. He is higher than I'm comfortable with too. I want him in the basement, Emilio. Mm-hmm. And the fact is he's sitting in the number 17 spot here right now.
Yeah, no, it's tough, but hey, he's fast. I mean, I'll give him that. He is creative in the backfield. That's why you need to approach him as is. You got to stay in your lane to do all that stuff. But the fact that you got Jared Goff, Caleb, and then you got your boy down there in McCarthy. Let's just hope he turns it up again this time and goes 2-0 against the Bears this year, and I'll be a happy kid this weekend.
Yeah, there you go. So, Mike, thank you for the super chat, buddy. And there you go. Cody comes in and says, I found $50 on a snowbank downtown celebrating. I'll never forget. Always a fan and a supporter. Y'all break down the X's and O's, and I appreciate that about y'all. Thank you so much, Cody.
Thank you, Cody. Appreciate it, man.
You're the man, buddy. All right, so let us know in the comments. You're watching this video back later. Let us know in the comments how you feel about Jordan Love. Do you think he's top 5? Do you think he's top 10? Maybe you think he's not even in the top 20. All comments, all opinions are welcome. We want to hear from you guys and gals. Let us know in there. Also, let us know about Caleb Williams. Do you think 17 is a good spot for him? Do you think he should be higher or lower? Obviously, there's nothing wrong as obviously Mike Hebring said here in the chat. You gotta keep your finger on the pulse. Keep your friends close, your enemies closer, I think is the old saying, right? But let us know in the comments.
Just to add to that, before you add your comment, Jordan Love on PFF was 6th in his passing grade in the NFL right now, just behind Stafford, Darnold, Mariota, Prescott, Drake May, and then Jordan Love. So, I mean, he's there, man.
Look at it, right? You see the good games on tape and you're going, damn, he's playing like an MVP. The bad games, even in the bad games, we're showing you what Jacob Morley refers to as sicko throws of the week, right? Yep. Layering in passes, the touches becoming a little more evident, the accuracy, all that stuff. So PFF says 7th, right?
And that was for his passing grade, and then offensive grade in total, he's 9th.
And that's probably because of the fumbles he's had and maybe bad decisions in regards to that. So, yeah. Everything suggests he's top 10 and in most cases top 5. So really, really interesting. Again, let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live